Hello everyone, this is Antens, and due to some unfortunate events, that is another player posting on Reddit about their build. I was now forced to reveal my hand because I have been working in the shadows. The Lich build is all fine and dandy. I'm pretty much done with it. I will be posting an update on that later on. There are a few things that I'm trying out and checking out, so I don't really want to post. I don't want to post any planners of it yet because it's not fully fleshed out. Also, I haven't killed Uber Aberoth yet, and I can tell you once again, it's super difficult for that build simply due to the damage profile and how the way it deals damage. But anyway, uh, on the side, about 4 days ago, or 3 days ago, I started another project that I had theory crafted before the season start. Um, because there is an item in the game that's called Spino Malatros, and this has been utterly garbage. Not only has it been super bugged, if you didn't know, it is supposed to scale of some of the nodes in Fisher. It explains which ones on it. Um, it's more or less doesn't scale with the ones that scale spirits. It scales with the nodes that affect the spirit of Fisher in itself. So it got bug fixed. However, they also tripled the damage effectiveness of it. So now, instead of having a 100 damage effectiveness, it now has a 300 damage effectiveness, um, which is incredibly strong. Now, what is really interesting about this build and why I thought it would be fun to play is because it scales its damage very, very differently from other builds. First of all, Spinomalartos in and of itself has a line that says that the whips gain critical multi per 10% uncapped necrotic resistance. Naturally, we can combine this with Bone Clamor. Super cool. We stack necrotic res, gain tons of crit multi at the same time that we gain ward per second, and we also gain ward DK threshold. Super synergistic. Now, another cool thing about this is that there's a node in Chthonic Fissure that says the Fissure's initial hit deals additional spell damage per 2% ignite chance. And this works with the whips because they are the game sees them as the Fissure, right? So this works. And what that means is that we can scale and stack a lot of ignite chance. We have it on our spine, we have it on this is a bad amulet. My gear is uber shit right now. You can see I'm running around with set ring, right? It's not good. And we have so much more to get out of this build. But then there was one last problem to solve. Because we want to scale crit multi, right? Or we do scale crit multi. So we need to crit. Well, this sword doesn't have any flat crit on it. And it's really hard to get flat crit because we can't equip a catalyst as well. So we can't equip a crystal skull, for example, that gains up to 6% flat. Also, the fissure in itself has nothing to do with crit or flat crit in and of itself other than acid skin. And acid skin is a curse that makes it more likely for targets to be critically hit, which is super strong, right? And then we can have this. They gain additional base critical strike chance per 10% of global increased poison damage, which is just insane. Now, what do we do then? Well, there's a tech that's been going around, and I've talked about this in my Witchfire video about my experimental season start. It turns out that it doesn't work for Witchfire. However, it still works for this build. And if we look at our poison damage, we can see we have 860%. So more or less, we are now crit capped because we get 5% flat, 20% from acid skin in and of itself, this node, and then we get 86% from this node. So we are crit capped. How did we arrive at this? How did we get here? Well, there's a node in Lich that says health leech is converted to increased damage. And that's what we've done. So we've stacked a bunch of leech, a bunch of generic increased damage nodes, wherever we can find them. And then we also put melee damage less health on our weapon and on our gloves. And this is leech that does get converted to increased damage. So it's very synergistic. Now I have really bad gear right now, but I thought I would show you how it works, how it looks like, what it can do, what it's capable of. And keep in mind this is not min-maxed, so the damage is still a bit lacking. Also, as you can see from our resistances, there's a lot of things we need to solve, but I've already found ways to do that, so it won't be a problem in the future. So here we have the Harbinger. We get acid skin on them through... Alright. And we have the amulet that says that our bone curse also inflicts acid skin, which means we do not have to hit anything with the initial hit. You see how it goes out? This does not have to hit anything now, because we can just use bone curse to afflict them with acid skin. So let's see. We just go, and it's quite silly, right? So yeah, he's pretty much perma-stunned. Keep in mind this is normal Aberoth, right? I do not think we can stun lock Uber Abiff. In fact, I know we can't. But we have decent damage for how much we are lacking right now in terms of gear. To be fair, we have still quite, like, for damage wise, our gear is pretty good. But this needs to be a T5 set affix. If you didn't know, the new set affix that you get from Evoker Ring gives you chance to ignite. And this needs to be an actual ring, hopefully an ivory ring that has the necrotic res as base. This needs to get changed so it at least has one T7. And this needs to be a LP2. This needs to have anything good, really. We low roll the frequency roll and it's only a T2 necrotic res, right? We're missing a T5 necrotic res on our boots as well. This one is really good. Or Twisted Heart. I sacrificed another 2 LP Twisted Heart just to see if this meme can be more than a dream. And this doesn't have the experimental affix yet, so we're missing quite a lot of ward. This will also be changed to Strand of Souls for ward retention, because we are lacking ward retention quite a lot due to the fact that our affix pressure is quite heavy. But yeah, that's really all. So it was a meme. I thought it would keep on being a meme, but somehow it's kind of impressive, right? Let's do it again, just for fun. So what we do rotation wise is Rip Blood does give us some more flat, but it's also a mana generator, and it gives us ward due to hematology and the Arcane Fortress node. I'm super squish, so I'll actually have to pay some amount of attention. I can't do it as like I do with my Lich, where I can just close my eyes and die. So that's how it works. Put down a fissure, and we curse them with bone curse, and we rip blood them, and then for the final combo We do transplant into profane veil, which boosts our damage and sends orbs. Transplant, rip blood, or what am I saying? Fissure, bone curse, rip blood, right? And he will get DR now, so we'll wait. Fissure, bone curse, rip blood. And for our big damage, Fissure, bone curse, transplant, and veil. So Fissure, bone curse, rip blood. Yeah, you get the point. So the damage is surprisingly good for something that is supposed to be a complete meme. I did talk to a couple of people about this idea. They told me I was crazy, but me and that dude on Reddit, we knew, we found it, and that's all. I will not be posting a planner for this yet. I will be making an update, but I just thought it might be interesting for you guys to see this and to um, see what you can do with it. Actually, I will probably post a planner, and you can take the tech and you can do whatever you want with it. Anyway, see you around. Bye bye.